Last week on MasterChef Australia, our contestants were put to the test by some of the world's best chefs. Heston's challenge saw the end for Rachel.
See you guys.
And for Shannon, near perfect
But some of the best food we've seen from any contestant.
was just not enough.
Shannon, it's over.
I'm so determined to achieve what I set out to do in the first place. I've just got a renewed sense of focus in my life.
Tonight, an invention test.
It's all about what's in those pots.
David Chang from Momofuku in New York brings the flavors of Korea
Take off your lids.
and one question.
Who's cooked with Korean ingredients before?
I look at the lotus root, and to me it looks like a loofah. I have no idea whatsoever.
It's going to be a bit of an experiment today.
What is it?
It's a Korean rice burger.
At stake for the ultimate series winner, the chance to work alongside the country's top chefs, a book publishing deal, $100,000 to help realise their culinary dreams, and the title of Australia's next MasterChef.
It's week 8 in MasterChef, and I'm so excited to be here, and every day I'm here, I'm one step closer to my dream.
At this stage in the competition, you start ticking off little milestones like top 15, top 12, top 10, and every week that you go through, the next one seems more achievable.
Guess what, girls? Apron time.
It's anyone's game, really. You have to cook well every single time you're in the kitchen. I'm happy with everything that I've done so far. I just hope that this week that I can put my hand up and get to the front of the pack.
People seem edgier and anxious. We've come a long way and no one wants to go home. You can tell as we go on, it gets tenser.
Walking in the kitchen, we can see these big pots that we don't know what's in them. It's one of those weird challenges where you walk in and there's something there, but you don't know what it is or where it's going to be going.
When we get to the kitchen, we're asked to just pick a table. Pick any table you want.
Welcome back to the MasterChef kitchen, and welcome to a fresh new week. 10 have gone home and 14 of you are still here. So close to getting into that top 10 exclusive MasterChef club. You might have noticed Ali's not here today. She's at home sick and unable to compete in today's challenge. What that means is, unfortunately, she'll be going straight through to the pressure test.
Unfortunately, Ellie being sick today, I guess it's a harsh reality of being in this competition. You can't get sick and you can't miss a day. It's not fair, but they're the rules.
And so to the challenge that could wrap up the whole week for you like a little present and put a beautiful bow on it. And it's all about what's in those pots. Those pots in front of you are the start of something that's probably the most exotic thing you've done here in the MasterChef kitchen. An exotic mystery box. But you're also going to be cooking to a theme today, like an invention test. So you could call this an invention box challenge.
I love invention tests and mystery boxes because You know, you never can be prepared. You then just have to think off the top of your head, which I always find really fun. Like, you know, cooking at home. Like, what's in the cupboard? I'll just grab this, and I'll make something work.
So here's what's happening. Like a mystery box, you can use as few or as many ingredients as you like. Like an invention test, you'll cook with a core ingredient and you'll have to create a dish to the food theme that we give you. The thing is, there isn't just one core ingredient. There are three. Beef, pork, and mackerel. And the lovely little twist that you haven't guessed is you've already made your choice of core ingredient. Whatever it is, it's in that pot in front of you.
I'm actually hoping to get the mackerel because more often than not, I'd be the person that would order the seafood dish.
I'd probably prefer to get beef. Got a couple of cool dishes I could do with beef.
We'll taste all your dishes, and we're looking for the one best dish of the day, and as always, the three least impressive. If you win today, as always, you have the opportunity to fight for immunity. But here's the best bit. If you win today, you'll also have immunity for this week's Teen Challenge, and you'll get to sit it out. However, if you're in the bottom three, then you will face the pressure test with Ellie.
So now it comes down to what you've got in those gold pots. Well, patience, my children, because first, you need to know who chose what's in those pots. The person who filled your pot today is about to open a restaurant later this year in Sydney. He's got a number of restaurants in Manhattan. Last year, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world.
I don't need Matt to finish the sentence. I know who he means. When I smelled that pot, I was like, bam, one of the coolest chefs is coming in.
He is David Chang.
Holy crap, it's David Chang. I knew it. Awesome.
I'm David Chang. I'm the chef owner of the Momofuku restaurants in New York City. I'm Korean American. I've spent time cooking in Japan. I've worked primarily in French kitchens. At Momofuku, we tried to make our food a reflection of what I've learned, what I've lived, what I've cooked. We're trying to create delicious food by paying respect to the cultures that we're taking those food profiles from.
David, give us a sense of what Korean food is. It's not a very familiar cuisine here in Australia.
I think Korean food is about preservation of food. It's about bold flavors, spicy flavors. Home cooking is a lot of small little bowls of food. Koreans love to wrap grilled meat. The biggest misconception about Korean food is that it is a meat-centric culture. It couldn't be further from the truth. It is all about vegetables and using whatever meat is available to accentuate those flavors.
Right, guys, time to find out what you'll be cooking. David, do the honors.
Everyone, take off your lids.
I'm really happy that I have the pork, but there are a lot of unusual ingredients that I don't think I've ever cooked with before. Lots with just Korean language packaging, so I'm not even sure what's in there.
Lifting the lid off the pot, and I've got the mackerel. I've never cooked with mackerel before, and I've got no idea how it's supposed to be cooked to, to taste the best. So I guess, yeah, it should be fun.
Who's cooked with Korean ingredients before? I would not have raised my hand.
If cooking with Korean ingredients wasn't hard enough, David Chang will be joining us on the judging panel to assess your work.
This is an exciting challenge. You're gonna have 75 minutes to produce an amazing Korean-inspired meal. David Chang's in the house. Your 75 minutes starts now.
my Korean dish is a braised tofu in a spicy sauce with crispy beef, perilla leaf roll-ups and a pickle. It's really important for me to taste the whole way through this challenge because I've never worked with this stuff before, so I don't know if it tastes good and how it reacts.
Today I'm cooking marinated beef and rice, and then I'm also making a Korean-inspired carpaccio.
The time starts and I sort of look through my ingredients. I taste a few things, just sort of get an idea of some of the flavours of some of the pastes, and then sort of look around and try and find a dish I'm going to cook. I guess I'm a little bit lost and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do.
My wacky idea is to make a Korean rice burger, but instead of using bread buns, I'm going to make the buns out of rice, and I'm going to make a pork patty with pickled Korean vegetables. It's going to be a bit of an experiment today.
I've got the fish, but I've never eaten Korean food. I've never cooked Korean food. 90% of in that pot I've never even heard of before, never even put my eyes on before. I look at the lotus root, and to me it looks like a loofah that I'm meant to wash my back on. I have no idea whatsoever.
In today's challenge, we have 75 minutes to create a Korean-inspired dish, and David Chang will be the guest judge.
The winner of today's challenge will have a chance at immunity and also avoid the team challenge. The dish I'm making today is steamed mackerel on a bed of cabbage and deep-fried tofu. I'm not confident with Korean, so hopefully my palate will work for me today.
I've got beef. It's not my first choice, but for the first time in a competition, I've actually made a little plan and written it down. I'm going to make a sushi and yakitori skewers. I'm also going to make these perilla roll-ups and grill them, and I'm going to do a quick stir-fry of some crispy beef and tofu.
All the different ingredients that are in the pot, a number of them, probably at least half of them, I've never cooked with before. It's mackerel. That's the last thing that I want, because I don't know how it's supposed to be cooked. I'd like to make a Korean spicy soup with some of the grilled mackerel and some other vegetable sides to go with it.
David, they've got some brilliant ingredients, some different ingredients inside this bucket. Tell us what this is.
This is samjang. It's a soybean product.
Wow. Yeah, you can smell that fermented soybean paste.
This is called doenjang, and this is a version of this. Some of this is in that.
It's earthy and it's salty.
Right.
You get the soybean, love that. Guys, tough challenge today. You have just under 1 hour.
I suppose I've really taken on board the information that David shared with us. He spoke about, Korean food was all about sharing and small dishes that sit around a table, and you can have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I've got pork. I instantly know what I'm going to run with. I've got a braised pork soupy dish in my mind, then some wilted vegetables, a couple of rice balls on the perilla leaves, and also semi-traditional Korean pickle.
Ooh. You surprised me, to be honest. Is this something that you're familiar with? Have you done this before?
I've absolutely no idea.
OK, so you're just winging it?
I'm just using my knowledge of, Asian flavours, so I'm just running off some ideas.
David is the type of chef that creates food through experimentation. I want to create a dish that has its roots from America, but is kind of tasting like it's from Korea. To make the pork patty, I use pork mince, and then I combine some other ingredients to make it more Korean. I decided to add things like grounded white pepper and salt and a bit of caster sugar and sesame oil and soy sauce and spring onion, and bring that all together to make a really nice, juicy pork patty.
What do you reckon? Korean burger with rice?
If it works out, I want to maybe take that idea.
Danny's Burgers.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good idea.
Thanks.
To make the marinated beef, I've got to first make the marinade. So I've used the red tub stuff, some sesame oil, some garlic, just basically ingredients that I can sort of recognise that are kind of familiar. And I'm just kind of tasting as I'm going until I get to a flavour that I'm actually quite happy with. And then I just trim up the beef, place it in a bowl and just let it marinate for at least 30 minutes.
think I'll prepare the fish 2 ways today. Might cook like a fish tartare with the mackerel, as well as just sort of prepare a marinated barbecued steak of the mackerel. Hopefully that'll taste a little bit Korean.
What I've decided to do with the mackerel is just remove the skin, have nice little pieces, and just steam it off over a couple of minutes. So it's just medium rare through the middle.
Have you cooked with mackerel before?
I have cooked with mackerel, but in steaks.
And what about these Korean flavours? Familiar?
No, not at all.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
thank you.
Thanks.
Holy mackerel, who's got themselves in a pickle? You got half an hour to go.
A real traditional Korean ingredient is the perilla leaves, which are like a big heart-shaped leaf and slightly furry. And I've seen these on the streets of Vietnam, stuffed with things and rolled up and barbecued. And I think, well, if I season it with Korean elements and just do the same technique, this kind of Vietnamese technique, well, it'll taste Korean, and I'll use the perilla leaves.
I think they look absolutely
That looks
fabulous.
fantastic.
Yeah. If I went into a little bar or a restaurant and I got something like that, and obviously you're going to cook it again in some way, but they look fabulous.
Looks good.
Okay.
I used to go with my grandmother and pick this. This is a perilla leaf, but in Korean it's called getnip.
Is that quite quintessentially Korean as well, where they wrap stuff up? And
That's why
eat?
this is called samjang. And that basically means sauce for something that you're going to wrap it in.
Love it.
The second dish is the beef carpaccio. What's worrying me most about the carpaccio is that he's going to hammer me because I just made a carpaccio. This isn't an Italian challenge, Matt. It's a Korean challenge. Wrong country.
What are you working on?
I'm trying a few things out. I'm probably bastardizing Korean food, and I'm going to try to make a Korean carpaccio.
You trying to make something that's very Korean?
Well,
What are you working on?
I'm going to try to make a Korean carpaccio.
You seem a little bit nervous. Are you starstruck?
A little.
Why is David a bit of an inspiration?
Yeah, you definitely inspire me. I just love the way you cook. I love that you just have a sort of I don't care attitude, and you just give the food that you want to give to anyone, and that's that's what I'm sort of doing now. I'm hoping that I can impress David today with the food that I'm making, because I think thinking outside of the square is probably something that he might appreciate, and something that's kind of like fun and a little quirky. He might just sort of go, oh, that's really cool. I really like this.
It smells wonderful, but will it taste absolutely delicious? You've got 15 minutes to go.
With 15 minutes to go, I still need to cook through the pork patties, and I'm still working on getting the rice cakes up. It's getting a little bit stressful at this stage because I don't know whether I'm going to be able to finish both of these elements, and if I don't have these elements, then I'm not going to have a dish.
I'm making a stir fry of crispy beef and tofu to go with some of the other dishes. When you stir fry it really hot, all the fat will come out of the meat and the meat will go crispy. It will be like a little crunchy, beefy cracker mixed with the tofu, which will be creamy and cool. So hopefully it should be a good combination.
Well, David and George come over to my bench and they asked me what I'm cooking today. I'm trying to look as Korean as possible.
Can we try some? You happy with the cuisson, the way it's cooked?
No, I'm happy with that.
You concerned about overcooking the fish?
Yeah, I am concerned, but
maybe you don't have to overcook the fish by not steaming it.
Don't steam it?
To me, that just looks like it's hammered.
Oh, does it?
I don't know.
Okay. David's given me a bit of advice. I decided to go against it, even though he's a Michelin-starred chef.
Love the intensity and concentration, but now is the time to bring it together. You have 5 minutes to go.
5 minutes to go, and I get the carpaccio out of my fridge. Most of it's all thin, but I've kind of overlapped some of the beef. So it's going to be thin, 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 and a little bit thick.
I've marinated the diced pieces of fillet in just some nashi pear and a bit of soy sauce and some sugar. And then I'm going to pan fry it off just to get a bit of colour on it, and I still want it to be a little undercooked in the middle.
I need to make a sauce for this burger because no burger is complete without sauce. I mix the chili beans together with the fermented soybeans, and then I get the water from the kimchi, mix it together with a little bit of sesame oil. I want the sauce to look like it is tomato sauce, but it needs to taste like it's from Korea.
The tofu dish isn't really what I had pictured in my head, and I'm sort of thinking maybe I should add some more sauce to it, you know, so that the judges love sauce. So I reduce down some of the mixture that I've got in the pot and pour that over. However, now I think I've just made the dish way too salty.
I take my fish out of the oven and check it, and I just think it's a little bit too pink in the middle, so I just want to sort of finish that last bit off. This is a bit of a risk because it may overcook here.
One minute to go. Come on, guys.
Plating's been an issue for me all through the competition. I know what this should look like. I know where I'm headed, and so I want it to look beautiful. I want it to look, you know, appetizing and tasty and something you just want to dive into.
Very last minute, I cook up my spinach, the greens. I get some smoking hot sesame oil in a wok, chuck in the spinach, toss that around a little bit of soy sauce, and they're done.
Hard to try.
30 seconds to go. Come on, guys.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm in a bit of a fluster and I just need to get everything on the plate.
I really don't even know if pan frying it was the right idea. I mean, there's so many other ways that you can cook fish. It's all just going to come down to taste at the end, really.
Every single one of you has risen to this Korean challenge.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Stop cooking.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing beautiful soups, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Am I insane? Maybe I am.
You've just completed your first Invention Box Challenge. You had some really interesting and amazing ingredients, and you had to transform them into a Korean-inspired dish that tasted absolutely delicious.
After cooking so brilliantly, I hope you're thinking about the possibility of a win. Because remember what's at stake. You get the chance to fight for that immunity pin, and you know how important that is. Not only that, but you're safe from elimination for the rest of the week. And that should put a smile on your face. The downside is, we're also looking for the 3 least impressive dishes of the day. That means for their makers, they go straight into a pressure test, where they face the very real possibility of going home. Okay, let's kick off the tasting and find out who's cooked the best dish. Peter, would you like to bring your dish up to the tasting bench?
It's always quite nerve-wracking presenting your plate to the judges, and David's going to be tasting it too. That, I think, is the most nerve-wracking part of today.
How do you feel about what you've done?
I don't know how it stacks up against everyone else, but I had a good time.
There's a dizzying amount of things going on the plate, and you've done an awful lot, given the time you've had. And what you've done well, like those delicious, salty beef with that charry flavour and succulent spring onions is fantastic.
I was a little concerned because you had so much going on, but I think you did a great job of demonstrating a variety of techniques. I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
It's full of flavour, and these are really, really yum. I like it all. I think you've done a tremendous job. Peter, well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Peter, take your beautiful dish and return with pride. Well done, mate.
Thank you. To get a round of applause as you go back to your bench from the fellow contestants and see them all smiling at you, and you know you're really smiley too, and it just feels good. Oh, that's nice.
Next up, Danielle.
I'm kind of not nervous in a funny way. I mean, I know what's gone wrong with this dish. I've just made the dish way too salty.
Tofu and potato with a spicy sauce and crispy beef.
Have you done well, do you think?
I had reduced some of the sauce down probably too far, and I've poured it over the top, and now it's too salty.
This for this dish?
Yeah.
Am I going to die from salt poisoning?
I really hope not. I don't think it'll be that bad.
Okay. Hang on a minute.
Oh no.
That is so salty, it's ridiculous. That's almost to the point of being unpalatable. I don't reckon I'd get through all of that, and I'm now going to be seriously thirsty.
Yeah.
That could have been a really nice little pot of stew, essentially.
Please let 3 other people do just as bad or worse than me.
Danny, would you like to bring your culinary creation to the front?
Okay. I'm happy with my dish. I'm happy that I've managed to actually pull off the rice burger, and I'm hoping now that it tastes authentically Korean and the judges like my idea. It's a Korean rice burger.
Okay. You took a huge risk. I like it when people swing for the fences and really go for broke. Is it the most glamorous dish? Is it any of that? Absolutely not. But does it taste delicious? Absolutely. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Michael, bring us your Korean-inspired dish to the tasting table.
Taking my dish to the judges and hearing some of the shining praise to a lot of dishes before me, I'm now certain that I'm not going to get that same praise. I think my fish is definitely overcooked.
Michael, how comfortable are you cooking Korean?
It's not something I'd never really cooked before. I'd eaten it once, so I'm a bit unsure about it. I'm just not very sure about Korean food. I pan-roasted the fish, so I just tried to cook it till it was sort of, you know, just that sort of turning opaque.
I like the fish cooked through as well.
Right, yeah. But I mean,
mackerel is just one of those things. It shouldn't be dry.
Right, well...
Are you proud of this dish?
It's not the best dish I've ever cooked.
Michael?
It might be a little bit dry.
You reckon?
I think, yeah, it's a bit
A
dry.
little bit?
Yeah.
How about you taste it first?
Yep.
And tell us if... Dry?
It's a bit drier than I'd like it, yeah.
Michael, not a bad effort. I mean, the mackerel is absolutely dry, yeah? We've got high expectations of you.
Yeah.
Yeah? I think you're one of the contenders to win this competition. Nuances of things could be better, yeah? All right? But it's not one of your best dishes, that's for sure. Yeah, I know what you can cook. These guys know what you can cook. You're a cracking cook. You can do better than that, yeah? We want more.
I'm pretty upset by the comments I got from the judges. I guess this is a pretty low point in me for the competition. I'm a little bit lost at the moment as to what's going on.
Hayden, bring forward your dish.
Looking at the finished dish, I'm very happy. It looks quite vibrant and fresh, and it looks hopefully Korean. I hope both David and the rest of the judges are going to like it.
Feast.
It's a good-looking plate.
So, Hayden, what's the dish?
Braised pork belly sitting on a bit of cabbage, a pickle. We have the stir-fried greens, some sticky rice balls with red bean paste.
I did not see this coming from you. I saw this.
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
I'll move on that. Look, can I say I love that, and I love it for a number of reasons. As a selection of 4 dishes, I think it works really, really well. And in terms of invention, elements, Korean, feel and look, and that kind of wonderful, hearty winter flavour, you've absolutely nailed it. I think it's a really impressive job.
The pork belly, nice and tender, flavorful broth.
Fantastic, Hayden, great.
Every time you walk up in front of the judges, you want to be hearing, positive feedback. It's quite humbling to hear, such great chefs speaking about your food that way. That's pretty cool.
Alana.
The biggest thing I'm worried about on my plate is the fish and whether I've cooked it correctly, because I just really didn't know what I was doing there.
Have you done well, do you think?
Look, I absolutely don't know.
OK, let's taste. You happy with the way you've cooked the mackerel? Hard to tell, isn't it?
Hard to tell. I wanted to, pretty much cook it through, but just keep it just maybe a touch under, because I wasn't too sure.
It's not really a touch under, though, is it?
Not really.
Not really. Straight up, I'm really surprised with your presentation. The disappointing thing is that fish. I think you've overcooked it.
Okay.
It's dry, it becomes flaky and fibrous, and that's a shame.
I'm kicking myself because I put it back into the soup that was on the stove and knew that it would continue to cook, and I just shouldn't have done that.
Adam, up to the tasting table, show us what you got.
The dish I've put up today is not a great dish. I'm concerned that it's put me in the bottom 3 and I'll be fighting to stay in the competition in elimination.
When it came to cooking the mackerel, did you get any advice from David Chang about how to cook it?
At one stage, David said there was other ways to cook it. Then I thought about pan frying it.
I'll give you a tip, Adam.
Yep.
When you get a guy like David Chang in your vicinity and he starts talking to you and giving you advice, 1, 2, open and listening. There's only one thing more valuable than praise from David Chang.
Yeah.
That's advice from David Chang, especially in a challenge. There's a place in the bottom 3 up for grabs.
Yeah.
Matt, it's your turn at the tasting table. Bring up your dish, please.
It's probably the scariest walk I've done so far in the competition, walking up to David Chang and handing him some food, especially when I've kind of made up a dish that's kind of crossed cultures and not really sticking at all towards Korean food in any way.
Marinated beef with some sautéed cabbage and Korean carpaccio.
There is carpaccio in Korea. It's called hyukwae. Traditionally, it's served with Asian pear, with an egg yolk. It's served very, very cold. This is a very tasty dish. I love texture in any food. It's a really good dish. I think if you tweaked it, it'd be something that you could be really, really proud about.
Awesome. Just need a few more tweaks, and David said my dish would have been perfect. What a compliment coming from one of the world's best chefs.
2 dishes, 2 very different points of view for me. Your braised beef with the cabbage. No, it does all the things that I want it to do, but it's kind of about as boring as a 24-page double glazing manual. You know, it's great, it does the job, but it's not gonna rock anyone's world. This, on the other hand, is dead set the best thing you've cooked for me.
Remember what you're competing for. A double-headed prize if you produce the best dish of the day. First up, you get to compete against the star chef for that immunity pin. And secondly, you're safe from elimination for the rest of the week. However, if you produce one of the 3 least impressive dishes of the day, not such a happy story. You face the pressure test along with Ellie, who's sick today, and from there, someone will be going home.
Let's start with the dishes that were hit for a home run. The first person in that top 3 is Danny.
I'm absolutely over the moon. I can't believe it. This is the first time that I've been in the top 3 in MasterChef so far, and I took a risk and it paid off.
The next person is Hayden.
It's bizarre feeling getting called up there. It's just something that you want to hear your name every single time, and to be called up, to be in that top 3 and to have that chance for immunity again and sitting out of the team challenge, it's perfect.
And the final person we believe cooked a dish worthy enough to be in the top 3 belongs to Peter.
I'm absolutely thrilled. It is a surprise. You know, it's like the perfect end to the perfect day.
Compliments to the 3 of you. Absolutely delicious food, above all, but some creativity there. Danny, well done. To announce the winner, I think it would only be fitting for David to do that. David?
Okay. Thanks for the honor. The winner of today's challenge, I think, was very difficult. They did an amazing job. The winner of today's Invention Box is...
To announce the winner, I think it would only be fitting for David to do that. David?
Okay. The winner of today's challenge, I think, was very difficult. They did an amazing job. Is Hayden. Hayden was highly sophisticated, deceivingly complex. I thought that it showcased a tremendous amount of skill, and you have a lot of potential that I did not see coming.
I suppose my first thought is guilt. You're like, far out, I've already got one immunity pin. I've getting a chance to have another go at another one. Maybe I do deserve it. Maybe this was worth it and I'm gonna have to give it another shot and I want another immunity pin, so here we go.
Well, Hayden, not only do you avoid the risk of getting eliminated this week, but also you go forward into immunity round where you could be the only person ever in the history of MasterChef to have two, to have stereo immunity pins. Hayden, Danny, Peter, not only did you three do a great dish, but I've got to also say, Matt, that carpaccio was absolutely rocking. And you just need to learn that when you taste two things, one's really good and one's okay, just don't bring us the okay one, because otherwise you would have been in those three. I don't think you need to stand around here anymore. Hayden, Peter, Danny, take Matt with you, because he's obviously not going to be in the bottom three, and get out of here. Congratulations, a really hard challenge. Well done. Well done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chef.
No one should underestimate Hayden. Just because he kind of looks like a dopey surfy boy doesn't mean he can't cook.
Well, from the heady highs to the slightly more depressing lows, this is a time when I'm sure you're thinking, I could have done more, I could have done better. But it's too late. The names I'm going to call out now will be headed for the pressure test. If you hear your name, please step forward. Danielle. Michael. Adam. Adam, Danielle, Michael, you didn't do enough in today's challenge to keep you out of the pressure test. That's what you'll now face. For the rest of you, you were sailing in uncharted waters, but you managed to avoid the rocks. So you're safe to go home and come back and fight another day. Off you go, guys.
I'm glad I'm not going to be cooking against those four guys because they're exceptional cooks. It's going to be a tough elimination.
Whoa, it gets tough, doesn't it? Because it's based on every dish that you cook. We always say you're only as good as the last dish you cooked. Today, it didn't go well for you guys. Just goes to show at this point in the competition, you have to pull out all the stops. My advice for you is that you have to think very clearly and figure out what your dish is before you start. Put everything of yourself into it. Otherwise, you find yourself here.
There's only one way to escape tomorrow's pressure test with your dream intact, and that's with heartfelt cooking. And tomorrow, that's even more true. Be ready to give it all you've got. We'll see you back here tomorrow. See you guys.
Knowing that tomorrow could be my last day in the MasterChef kitchen, the way I see it, it's not my last day. This is just another day to cook in front of the judges and show them what I can really do.
Tomorrow night, a pressure test that's all about heart.
It's that one ingredient that no amount of instruction can give you.
And our guest chef has it in spades.
My mother.
Mary?
Yes, mate.
Who's the better cook, you or George?
Greek is the word. Make my mum proud.
4 classic dishes. 4 frantic cooks.
When I get flustered, my brain goes into just not working mode.
And in the final judgment, the good.
Mum, do you like it? Beautiful.
The bad.
They look like 5 gnarly fingers, don't they? Oh, you can't eat that.
And the bombshell.
And, sorry.